I get them in the evening too. I get the blues in the morning. How about you? I get that lonely, lonely feeling they call the New London Blues. I get the lonely, lonely feeling they call the New London Blues.
Hi, good evening, welcome. I bet you thought I was done for a while. This was unexpected. I got a phone call last night asking to help out Larry with the LOT show tonight because Dr. Hayes had a previous engagement.
I'm not exactly sure what it was, but with his family, spread out a bit. Sometime when one or two of them shows up.
So I guess I'm Dave from the Dave and Larry show today.
That's it.
Okay. Welcome to LOT. Just a reminder, we have our meeting, our picnics on
whichever.
Picnic is on September 19th, as you said.
19th. Hopefully I'll be able to catch a few fish by then.
Well, get yourself together. You had a injury, but you're recovering.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll leave it at that. Considering you're the one who would have to say something, not me. And then our next meeting is on the 12th, August 12th at the Senior Center, and it runs from 7 to 9 in the evenings. Please come out and join us. Give us your views, your suggestions. The LOT meetings are usually the second and the fourth Wednesday of every month at the Senior Center. And we welcome anyone who is more than happy to come out and let us know what you think about what's going on in New London, what we should be doing about New London. And
right now we got a lot of, a big slate of new candidates coming up, so there should be plenty to talk about.
Well, do you want to start with that today?
Oh, me? No. Oh, you want me to start with something?
You want to start? Well, you have something on your mind you want to start with.
So
let's start with that, and we can always go back to the the slates.
I got to go back a month or 6 weeks ago when Mayor Finizio was on his show right here, actually in your seat, talking about his possible re-election. Now, because that's coming up, of course. But what he brought to mind was that going on in the state right now about raising taxes, that they're considering passing I don't know how you would say it for this state, a 2.5% limit increase on property taxes.
A year.
Now, he says so when he raised the taxes, he would limit it to 2.5%. He would actually try to keep it less than 2.5%.
He said there was going to be no more big tax increases.
Yeah, but here is the big but.
With one or two T's.
Well, and just a kick. 2.5%, gee, that sounds pretty good compared to what he wanted before. 20% increase, and 12% increase, 6% increase, 2.5%. Except that in his speech right here, he said he would be doing this each year of his 4-year term. Now on the surface, now pay attention, 4 years at 2.5%, that sounds like 10%, doesn't it?
Yes.
But it isn't.
No, of course, we know it's not.
Well,
I'm
a
trying
lot
to-
of people think it is, because that winds up to be a 25% increase. And if anybody wants me to show them the simple arithmetic that shows it's 25%, I will gladly explain it to them. Now,
Well,
do you want me to show you? Oh, but
no,
you're not
I-
even asking.
because I'm figuring out 2.5%.
You, all right, you figure it.
All right,
then.
but
We'll do it together.
originally, let's just do for simple
No,
numbers.
just say
okay?
$1,000, work with $1,000.
$1,000. 2.5% is $25, right?
Right.
All right. So the next year, it's not 2.5% on 1,000.
No, we won't even bother with the 100% of fractions. No. You said the first year it's going to go up.
$25.
All right.
But I mean,
But-
that's on $1,000.
But that goes on for 4 years.
I know.
4 years. So what does that come to?
You want to forget the other? It's $100.
No, we're not forgetting anything. That goes for 4 years.
Right.
That's $100.
Right.
Write it down.
But it's not $100. We'll
Yes,
write
it
that
is.
down.
Now, the second year, go ahead. What is he going to do in the second year? He's going to.
2.5%.
All right. So how much is 2.5% of $1,000?
$25.
And that's going to be for 3 years?
No, the 2.5% is 1 year. It's not every year. You're
Yes,
talking-
it is. He
Wait a minute,
said
wait a
he
minute.
said he was going to do it every year.
I understand that, what you're saying, but if it's $1,000 the
Yeah.
first year,
Yeah,
2.5% is $25.
Right.
That's $1,025.
yeah.
Then the second year, it's another
All right, we'll
2.5%.
do it your way. Go
Okay,
ahead.
another 2.5%.
Yeah,
Well, another 2.5% on $1,025 is not $25, it's more than that.
yeah, I said we don't have to figure those little tiny
Okay, so,
fractions.
but you do the 2.5% for 4 years, it's $100. Is that what you were saying?
No, it comes out, no, I want you to keep going. Do it for the
All
4
right.
years.
All right, so $25 a year. You don't want to go into the little bits.
Yeah,
So the first year, it's an additional $25.
yeah,
So then the
What is
second
it?
year, it's another $25.
yeah,
The third year, it's another $25.
yeah,
By the fourth year, it's another $25, so you're up to $1,100.
yeah.
Not 1,000, you're up to 1,100, because you didn't want to do the
Oh,
little numbers.
no, we'll skip those little teeny weeny.
teeny numbers.
Yeah, so they can follow us
All right, so
easier.
now we're up to $1,100 after 4 years.
4 years, yeah. But you missed out.
On what?
How many years are you paying the first $25?
For the first $25 you'd be paying for 4 years,
All right, that's 100 right there.
right?
Okay, now the second time, he raises it 2.5%.
Another 20%, 2.5%, that's another $25, so that's $75 for
That's
3
all right,
years.
that's 175.
All right,
Now the third year,
would be $50 for 2 years.
yeah, so that's what, 2.25?
That's 2.25,
And then the last year, he raises it,
25,
yeah,
so we're up to $250.
$250. And what did we start with?
$1,100.
No,
I mean $1,000.
so what do we have now?
$1,250.
That's 25%.
That's 20.
250 is 25% of 1,000.
It is.
25% every 4 years. So it's not 10%.
No, but this is what the state of Connecticut is looking to
To limit it.
limit it to
Yeah.
2.5%. So what happens is it's going to give another reason why people in Connecticut will leave.
Well, yeah. But see, they're not being told it's 25%
No, of course.
increase. They're being told it's 10%. Now, if you want to follow that a little further, you'd have to go with a little higher math to throw in your extra percentage.
Well,
And then,
the real numbers.
well,
We only did $1,000.
All
Now,
right.
what property
Now,
in
look.
London's $1,000? We're talking $100,000 minimum.
well, if it's 100,000, then
Now
it's
you-
25,000.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. But I say start with 1,000 so people can follow it a little easier
Right.
and hopefully understand what I'm trying to get across to them. Now, at this rate, so if he's elected for 4 more years, don't forget now, this 4 years he already raised your taxes 25%.
Right.
So he wants to raise it another 25% if he gets reelected.
Right.
And if he got reelected one more time, 3 terms, if he got reelected, if he was in for 3 terms,
Right.
and only raised the taxes to 2.5% a year, at the end of 3 terms, all right, you say,
Just shoot me.
now he likes to use the figure, well, most people are paying, $4,000, that's not much. But
Well,
according to his system, those people he's talking about paying the $4,000, after 3 terms, do you have any idea what that 4,000 amounts to?
not unless I try to figure it out.
All right, just under $8,000. So you can figure, with this system of 2.5% increase, every 12 years,
You're doubling.
You're going to double. If they never do anything else, your taxes are going to double every 12 years. Now, how does that grab you?
Well, we can't afford.
Well, Peninsula says you
Peninsula.
can. He picked out 25% of the taxpayers. He says you guys are going to pay excess taxes, so I can take that money, that extra money, and give it to 75% other people that are all my friends.
Mm-hmm.
So 75% of the people think they're going to have a free ride. Now, with this deal that he come up with, proposing 25% of the people are going to pay higher taxes, 75% their taxes are not going to go up. That's what he said.
Right.
Now, that's not a one-shot deal.
No.
That's it forever until we get
and the other situation
people
is
to change it.
what he's not banking on is that all the businesses are going to come back again
Yeah.
and threaten to leave
Yeah.
if taxes are raised.
Yeah. But, folks, this is what the government is set up to do to you right now. And you're not stepping up and to be counted, to fight them.
Well, because 75% don't care.
Yeah, they don't care, because they're on the winning side. But eventually, when Peninsula gets reelected, even if they're paying lower taxes, they're going to go up 25%.
Well, then, yes, they are.
25%.
That's right.
So even for them in 12 years. So just imagine.
Okay, so what's your answer? Who do you vote for?
Vote for? The trouble with politicians in Connecticut and New London for the last, well, I'd say 50 years, you don't vote for any candidate. You vote against candidates. Which one is the lesser of 2 evils? Do you see any difference?
No.
Now, don't forget now, to show I'm not as biased as you think I am, remember, Finenzio, as the mayor, proposed this bill of picking on 25% of the taxpayers. But it didn't mean anything until it went to the city council. It's the city council voted for it. They made it law. That's the law of the land. The city council voted for that, to charge one person extra high taxes, so 3 people don't pay high taxes.
Mm-hmm.
The city council made it law, not Peninsula. So they're just as much to blame. In fact, they're more so because
They're the ones
they
who passed
made
it.
it law.
Okay.
So Passero is part of this. He made it law. He's part of it. He made it law.
This is why I'm saying.
Peninsula proposed it. Passero made it law.
Yeah.
Now you tell me the difference between those 2 people.
If I had to choose between those 2 people, and that's our only choice,
Yeah.
and you have to pick one, or you're
Yeah.
saying don't
Yeah.
vote at all. I don't think we could go through 4 more years of Daryl Finencio.
Yeah, well,
I really don't think
But
so.
what do you really-
However, what I would like to see is an automatic referendum every year.
well, yeah.
That we get to, as citizens of New London, we get to go to the polls every year, like they do in Stonington, like they do in many, many other towns, and vote on the budget. Because we cannot rely on the so-called wisdom of 7 people to run the city properly.
Well, see,
And to do what's right. We've obviously seen in New London for the past, you said 50 years,
yeah.
that New London can do
Well,
anything
because
right.
it was in the 60s
When they started taking federal dollars.
They made their first tremendous mistake.
That's true.
They could have made that end of town an industrial type city. Not heavy industry. They had a chance to turn it into a money-making part of the city.
Right.
But the Democrats are in charge. They're not interested. They want a welfare town. And that's what they got.
Well, and then what I also heard so many times is people coming into the country and into Florida and in Miami, and they say for the best welfare, there were signs down there.
Oh,
that
yeah.
People said for the best welfare, go to New London, Connecticut.
Yeah.
And this town has been ruined.
Yeah.
That people can come up to me and tell me that I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But people, this town has been ruined by welfare.
Okay. How much of the city is tax exempt?
53%. No. I take that. No, 53% of the. What was it?
You see, I keep,
No, 53%.
I keep hearing different numbers.
Well, because I keep hearing 53%, 47% of the population pay 100% of the taxes.
Well, actually less than that. The last official number put out by the manager of the town, that was when Brown was here.
Yeah.
There has never been an official number put out since then.
And what did he say?
58% was tax
It
exempt.
was tax exempt.
58%. And since then, we've had what? How many these other places come in, Section 8 and everything else they call them? So we're at least 60%
So
tax exempt. Now, the Finencio says it's 50%. Other people say it's 45. Others say, you get all different numbers. But the only official number I ever heard was from City Manager Brown. There has never been an official number come out yet. Maybe they know what it is, but they're not telling us.
There's a lot of tax exemptions in this town, in the state of Connecticut, and I really think that the laws need to be changed. That you cannot have a private residence as a place of worship. That you're going to. Because that takes your property immediately off the tax rolls.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Yeah, you only have to have a service in there once a week, and you get
You get the tax. Why isn't everybody having services in their houses then?
Well, a lot of them go to what, the mail order courses. They get a certificate, says they're a reverend or whatever.
Yeah.
And they get it. And you got to remember, in town, it's 5 and possibly 6 Democrats to 1 Republican.
Right.
So whatever kind of bill you propose,
It's not.
which way are they going to vote?
Oh, they're going to vote always in this town.
Always Democrat, no matter what it is.
I don't think the people are smart enough to in this town to see past their noses that this is the way we've been doing it for decades, and we're not going to change it.
Well, in a way, see, I got to disagree again. They are smart. They know as long as they're Democrats, they get freebies. So they are smart. They vote for Democrats because it's the Democrats that hand out the freebies. They don't care where the money comes from. They don't have to pay it.
But they don't realize that eventually the money's going to run dry.
Well, they're not worried about it. They're not worried.
Well, if everybody had their hands out, then who would be paying?
Well, that's it. Financial said who's going to pay. Only 25% of us.
I'm saying, what if those 25% ended up on the same situation, the other 75%? So
Well,
who's going to pay then?
by then he'll skip town. He'll go off to Jamaica with Obama or something.
He said he wasn't leaving town.
Yeah.
If he loses, he's not leaving town.
Oh,
That's what he
boy.
said.
Boy.
Oh, okay. So what?
Where are we
what
now?
We were
You kind
saying
of pushed
that
me
is,
off track. Where are we going now?
well, we're saying that pretty much you can tell a Democrat is or a politician is lying if he's moving his lips.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, all right. So we have a.
Oh, we
I
do?
guess we have a call.
Oh, my.
They didn't want to call on line one. Good evening. You're on.
Hi, hello, Eric.
How are you?
I have a question. It may be a little bit off the subject, but I was wondering why there's taxes to be charged at Ocean Beach when it is not a state park.
Yeah.
It's a private.
No.
Well, it's a private beach, right?
Well, I think it belongs to the town.
But it belongs to the town, but-
It is not a state beach, as far as I know.
Right. So,
Exactly. New London owns the beach, but
Yeah.
there's been charges on the state parks.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering why Ocean Beach is having a charge on that.
Well, because they don't know the difference yet. They have to wait.
Oh.
They have to wait until they're told. So to cover themselves, they want to collect the tax ahead of time.
Okay, thank you.
you know, but not the same thing goes for there's taxes on parking lots now. Did you know that?
Parking lots?
Parking lots.
Really?
Yes.
No, I didn't realize that.
It's in the paper today. 6.35% sales tax was included in the budget passed by the Connecticut General Assembly on June 29th and went into effect July 1st.
Oh my glory.
So and you know what's even stranger? It's not just on, it's placed on motor vehicle parking fees for all seasonal lots. Maybe that's why Ocean Beach is getting charged. It's a seasonal lot. And then
Okay.
as well as hospital garages. Talk about stealing from people
Unbelievable.
with 30 or more non-metered parking spaces. So, and they're trying to figure out how they can charge the 6.35% on even with the parking meters eventually. You watch. But it's amazing. The state has no morals. All they care about is how can we steal some more.
Exactly.
But you know whose
Okay.
fault it is?
Whose fault is that?
It's ours.
Well, exactly.
We keep putting the same people in year after year after year.
Exactly.
So how do you know when a politician is lying?
They all lie.
Yes, their lips are moving.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You have a good evening.
You too.
Okay. I like the part in that article where it says they have no idea who brought this idea up to the
Isn't that
state
amazing?
legislature.
Yes.
They have no idea who
Yes.
did it. Imagine that. Well, if it's a mystery man, then cancel it. It shows you don't know what you're talking
But
about.
What's the saying? They never saw the politicians. They never saw a tax they didn't like. Or something like. Is that the saying?
Yeah.
But the people obviously aren't fed up enough in Connecticut.
That's why when things like this happen, I vote for it myself. I would vote for this to put higher taxes up. You got to keep going and going and until you can get enough people fed up with what these guys are doing. But if you keep trying to push off some of these little things and letting them get away, we'll let it slide. They're pushing a tax someplace else. You know, well, you must remember, you're talking about politicians. You must remember the story about the camel out in the desert. It's cold out in the desert at night, and he wanted his master to let him just stick his nose into the tent to keep his nose warm.
Yeah.
You must remember that story.
I never heard that one.
Oh, you never did?
No.
Well, anyway.
When you started, you got to finish.
you know, so he slept a half hour or so, and then he says, you know, I'm still chilly out here. I'd like to put my snout in, you know, then, you know, my head, and then, oh yes, now I'd like to get my lump in here, my bump, my rump, whatever. Pretty soon the camel is inside, and he pushed the owner right outside. Oh, this is what your state legislature is doing. But that's why I say when, you know, I'm on the parking authority now, not just the parking commission.
Okay. Parking
authority. So next month when we have a meeting, I want to see what they're going to talk about this sales tax on
you'll
parking.
Be privy to this.
Yeah. Well, I'll get some information on it, but like I said, I'll vote for it to try and get enough people aggravated to what's going on. So why can't we have a million-man march on state legislature, grab them all by the scruff of the neck and throw them out?
Because there's no recall in Connecticut.
There's no recall. Boy.
Okay.
I blew off a little steam. What do we go after next?
That's why.
Now, have I got you convinced that is a 25% tax increase, not 10%?
Yes.
And also, in 12 years...
I knew it wasn't 10%.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm smart enough to realize that the tax is not... It's 2.5% on the new one every year too. So
yeah. So instead of 16 years, it comes out to 12 years to be. But that's close to being double.
This is another reason why people are leaving Connecticut.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the governor said the other day, it was in the paper. You have to believe the day, right?
Oh.
So he was welcoming and the increase in jobs coming into Connecticut. But did you ever say how many people left Connecticut?
Yeah.
Kraft is leaving Connecticut from Enfield area.
Yeah.
But somebody did the Sikorsky in Bridgeport. They lost 150 jobs.
Yeah.
But the Grummond bought the Sikorsky, so that I'm sure they'll bring people in. But that doesn't say how many people have left Connecticut. The population, I can't see it's increasing. I mean, you and I can't wait to leave Connecticut.
Yeah, some years ago they were saying an average of 20,000 people leave Connecticut a year.
Pretty soon Connecticut's not going to have any delegates in it.
And they said 1 year, 22,000 people came in, but only 1 year. But on average, 20,000 leave.
Now, and God forbid the federal government ever brings up the situation about closing the subbase again.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
well, I heard they don't have as many people there now, that they're actually renting out
it's right.
Navy
housing
to
they do rent
civilians.
out Navy housing.
To civilians.
Yes. I found that out. I'm like, how do I get there?
Yeah.
The rent's cheap.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. New London Green Party endorses council and school board candidates. Some nominees have also received nods from city GOP committee. It seems to me that the Green Party always nominates the same people. Do you know how many members are in the Green Party?
No, I don't think there's many. I remember going to them some years ago, and in fact kind of helping them out when they were giving a demonstration. I don't know how many years, 8, 10 years ago.
Okay.
There weren't that many members there.
Well, former Public Works Director Tim Hanser, wasn't he fired by Finizio?
Yeah.
After he was praised by Finizio 2 weeks before that?
I've always wondered, how did he manage to get hired by Finizio? Did he swing all of the Green Party votes of Finizio? That's how that usually works.
Well, I'm sure he's going to be...
Well,
he's going to
You're
be...
going to vote for him?
No.
No.
No. I'm sure Hanser is telling everybody, don't vote for Finizio.
Yeah. Well, yes,
So-
but he's going to run himself, isn't
Right.
he? Yeah. For city council?
Yes.
All right. So I wouldn't vote for him. Because he gave the votes that he controlled, he gave to Finizio in order to get that cushy job that he knows absolutely nothing about. So I want him as a counselor?
Well, look, we already have a couple of counselors up there who don't know anything.
Oh, speaking of a couple of counselors up there, this rule about the state says, oh, it's okay for city employees to be on the council.
Okay.
And they said, well, it's perfectly all right because we do not vote for our own raises. So when the raise came up for the fireman recused himself,
Right.
but the cop voted in favor of it. Now, when the raise came up for the cops, the fireman, the cop recused himself,
Right.
but the fireman voted for his raise. Now, perfectly legal, that's what the state says we can do. But then it came time to vote for the budget. Now, in order to cover the budget with the raises for these two people, the budget had to go up, right?
Right. So
And these two people voted to raise the budget.
Right.
In short, they voted for a raise for themselves. If they didn't vote for the budget, they couldn't have gotten the raise, right?
Right. So you think they should have...
So they
recused-
lied.
Yeah.
They lied, just
They-
like everybody else up there. No,
You're going to be on somebody's list after tonight.
I've been on it for 15 years.
Finally, somebody else gets on it besides me.
But isn't that the truth?
No, you're right. You're right.
Tell me that it's a lie.
It's not a lie.
Well, Hewitt tells me I lie, but
But come on.
this council every once in a while tells me I'm wrong.
Yeah, but Ernie's
I
a
say, well, you show me the right way right now.
Right.
And they won't do it. I give them a bunch of figures, and well, like Bossetto said, your figures are skewed. Okay, let's unskew them right now. You come up with the figures. You show me where they're wrong.
Right.
Not a word out of any of them.
No, because you're not on the council running the numbers.
Yeah,
You're just a civilian
yeah.
who happens to be
Belly aching.
not belly aching,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
happen to have more than half a brain,
Yeah.
and you can figure things out.
Yeah.
But the people who usually work for public office,
Yeah.
most of them usually don't have that half a brain, and all they're up there is to go in year after year after year and make more money,
Yeah,
increase raises for themselves,
yeah,
and so of course they're going to say our numbers are wrong.
yeah. Well, show me the right numbers.
Well, you're right.
You know, they can't do it.
So, former Public Works Director Tim Hanser and Planning and Zoning Commission member Rona Stuhler will run for a seat on the 7-member City Council.
Yeah,
So, obviously, the Green Party doesn't have very many members in their group because they can only put
Yeah.
up 2 people.
I guess. Yeah, yeah. I remember before they never had many.
Now,
Yeah.
current school board member Myrna Martinez, who I think probably is the only worthwhile member of the Board of Education.
Yeah, she's the only one I heard ever put up a fight.
Right. And U.S. Navy veteran Jason Morris, who I don't know. Each are seeking a spot on the Board of Education. Now, you're right. She's the only one who's ever put up a fight or argument or whatever you want to call it for certain issues. I have the number of times that I've been to a school board meeting, all I've ever heard was, oh, what's such hard work that the Board of Education is telling the school heads what hard work they have done and how well they have advanced all the issues and how the schools are getting better. But yesterday, we had a phone call. I had a phone call from someone and bringing up the principal issue with Nathan Hale. So obviously, all this, the school board member, huh?
I wanted to bring that up too.
Okay, obviously this, without, and I have never seen anything in the paper about that.
No, they don't want us to know.
Well, do they know? That's rhetorical. I think, of course they know what was going on, but they're letting it happen. And that's the problem with the school system in New London. They let things happen without questioning things properly, especially the obnoxious amounts of money the Board of Education gets for the school system. What's on the tax, when you get your tax bill? It says how much of the percentage of the money goes towards the Board of Education. Most of it goes towards the school system. I can't remember, it was an obnoxious amount of money. And that seems to go up every year also.
Yeah.
Because the Business Association from New London approached the city council and told them, we can't afford this. Did they approach the school board and tell them the same thing? We can't afford this. You have to lower your increase rate. I'm not sure if they went there or not. And I know the original numbers that the Board of Education were seeking was not given, it was lower.
Yeah.
My question is, do these people, all the people in administration, deserve these high six-figure incomes that they're getting with the results that we are seeing in New London public schools?
Now you got to remember one thing. Go back to Finingio, charging 25% of the people higher taxes, so 75% of the people didn't pay higher taxes.
Yeah.
They said the money for the school board, that's for the children. So 75% of the people voted for the school budget because their taxes weren't going up. Finingio told them that. Why do you think it was a 2-to-1 vote on that referendum
when
deal?
are people going to get it through? How ignorant do you have to be
I say they're not.
realize, and I'm not talking about the administration or Board of Education, I'm talking about the people in this town, to realize that we're getting hosed, even though they're getting a free ride and the other 25% are paying for it.
Oh, they don't care about the 25%. They're getting their cut. Finingio told them they're getting their cut.
Well,
So he stuffed the ballot box.
yeah,
He did.
yeah.
He told them, your taxes aren't going up before you went to the ballot box. And on the other side was all these people from out of town coming in to tell the people how to vote. Remember that?
Yes.
The stories?
Yes.
Well, it's for the children. So all these people whose taxes aren't going up voted for the higher budget for the school.
If it
It's very simple. They're smart. I don't have to
I don't
pay
think
for it.
so,
I'm
no.
going to let somebody else pay for it.
if it ever went to the children,
That's a different story.
I may be happier.
Yeah, but it
But
doesn't.
it never goes, no.
Yeah.
No, and what's even more disgusting is, and I've said this many, many times, is the parents, or lack of, one parent, or all these dysfunctional families have their hands out. So they get welfare,
Yeah.
they get food cards,
Yeah.
and they can't afford to pay for meals for the kids
Or it,
because, the school will pay for it.
Yeah.
Or we can't afford to give clothes to our children.
Yeah.
The schools will pay for it. Well, they'll get their uniforms. But they certainly know how to afford all the electronics
Oh, yeah.
and all the
Yeah.
new
Yeah.
$100 sneakers that all these kids want. The priorities are in the wrong areas. This is not everybody. This is a lot of them, though. And you can see it. And that's when I said yesterday, I read that article. That Black Lives Matter, but the black people are the ones who are caught. They're 87% are causing their own problems because they don't illegitimacy, no two-family parents. They can't. It's and it's recidivism. It occurs all the time.
Yeah.
Nothing ever changes. And who do they want to blame? You and I.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't cause it.
Yeah.
They're blaming the wrong people. I didn't cause it. I want to see, and this is not everybody. We all know this, and I'll say this time and time again. We all know there are responsible parents.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the ones who have never gotten off their big fat duffs to do the right thing and take responsibility for their families.
Yeah.
Because nobody ever helped me. I'm not asking for help, and I've never asked for a handout. But I had my children. I took responsibility for my children.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the responsibility of everybody in town to pay for everybody else's children.
Yeah. Now, where I keep my boat, in town,
Yeah?
I guess you'd say next door neighbor there, plus I would say just about my best friends down there, and I'd say buddies, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's not white. He's, one of my best friends. He works every day. His father is, I think, a year older than me, and he works every day. So there's a lot of good people that will work.
Right.
And one of his father's pet peeves is, because he's upset with Hyslop and Hewitt, he says because they're minorities, they would like to get somebody contract jobs in town.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to get consideration.
Yeah.
They said they never get it. So, and these people work so hard. To me, it's unbelievable how hard they work.
Well, if the person you're saying, your friend, his father is 1 year older than you, I mean, what is that, 87?
Yeah.
Well, the good thing is...
You remember that tree we knocked down?
Yeah, that was...
They took home 2 loads of wood,
Yeah.
and that old man split all that wood up by hand. That green wood.
Yeah.
I don't know how we did it.
How many years did I come there and trim that?
Oh, trim the tree, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it was an old tree.
And back to the other thing you said about the free meals.
Yeah.
It was just on the news today, I guess up in Hartford. The schools are handing out 3 meals a day to however many kids want to come in.
Right.
So I forgot the exact number. I think they were figuring on they're going to be giving out 1 million meals or something, through the summer.
And
Freebies.
a lot of the
Freebies.
food gets thrown out because they don't like the food.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I really don't understand
They
it.
get it for free,
That's the attitude.
just dump
Give it to me for free, I'll just take what I want. But if you have to pay for it, then you you realize that I'm paying for it. I have to. This is what I'm going to buy. But, a good thing is that Mr. Hyslop is not running again. He's finally stepping down.
Yeah, but then what else does he have in mind?
He says it's time for somebody else to run.
So it must be those 2,000 silent people that voted for him are telling him to step down. Because he says that's the people he listens to, the 2,000 silent people that voted for him. That's what he says he hears.
He doesn't, the people that come up to the council meetings, we're not the important
No, we don't
people.
count.
The council relies on the people who don't say anything.
Yeah, even Nolan says the same thing. It's only the people that talk to him in private. They said they come up to him and talk to him. That's who he hears.
But I have to give Nolan credit for, he shows up at functions, he plays with the kids, he does, I mean, he takes a lot more interest in the town than some of the other councilors. So, I don't know. I don't know what the answer to New London is. It's never going to be the kind of town that it used to be. Everybody who has always told me this town has such potential, but it's never come back. Now, I don't know what the town was like. I didn't come until really 1976, and then I was gone for a couple of years, so we came back in 1980. But everybody tells me that, you should have been here in the 50s and 40s, and the town was so nice, and it was just so well run, and everything was so much better.
They had stores in town,
yeah.
Plus they had a lot of sailors in town, so that kept a lot of the businesses going in town, back then. And when we first came here, the stores we went to were there on Bank Street and State Street, before they made Crystal Mall.
Well, I do remember some of the stores before Crystal Mall. I do. I mean, there was a Montgomery Ward catalog shop here.
Yeah.
There was a Kresge's.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, when they moved out to the shopping center, why Kmart didn't follow it up there. I mean, my wife always tells me all these great stores that were downtown that have been gone. And downtown's never come back. Yeah. Well, when you make stupid mistakes and change the street to cobblestones and then decide to, I mean,
when they put in that Captain's Walk.
Yeah.
Well, one year they lost most of the businesses. The second year they were all gone. Now, so in 2 years, it was deserted. But do you think they would fix it? 17 years went by. 17 before the Democrats say, well, maybe, why don't we try something new? We'll change it back to where it was.
So don't you think it's time people rethink?
They won't do it.
That we need to try to change the attitude in New London and...
Attitude, no. That was one of my speeches to the city council. I told them face to face, point blank. I said, New London will never change until you people change your attitude about how you're going to run the town. I told them. You think they'd listen? No. No, because they don't believe it. We're Democrats and we're going to do whatever the heck we want to do.
So it's the people that need to change their attitude and try something different for a change.
They won't, because 75% of them are Democrats.
I understand.
They get the freebies. They are not going to change. I like arguing. It gives me a chance to tell them a little more of what they know, but they don't want to admit. Oh, look at that time when I was reading that paper that the finance director put out.
Yeah.
He says there are 75,000 people in New London every day. How can you make a statement like that?
Did he count them personally?
Well, hey, he's the finance director.
That's a terrible.
And then Hyslop wanted to know where to get the figures.
Yeah.
I said, it's right in this report. You got it right in front of you. Turn the page, you'll see it. They just look at the front page and they just throw it aside. Well, how in the world could he say there's 75,000 people in New London every day?
I don't know. I don't know how you make that statement.
Well,
And the traffic in New London, we're only basically 5-6 square miles. You've got the worst traffic in this town, especially at Bank Street, Montauk Avenue, and Squire Street, and then Ocean Avenue. It is, the lights are not synchronized.
Oh.
And the city says we can't do anything about it because it's state-owned.
yeah.
It's terrible. And with as little square footage that this town has, it can take 20 minutes to get out of this town.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, I mean, it's terrible.
No, it's the same reason why we keep getting beat by the state on everything, because you have nobody in town, in the government, that will say anything to the state. You could get those traffic lights fixed, but you'd have to have somebody from the town to go to Hartford and make the case, and then pound on them.
I did find out, though, that if you're going southbound or westbound on Bank Street and you need to take a left onto Montauk Avenue, it originally was a left turn only. It's not anymore. The left turn only is at Ocean Avenue.
Yeah.
And then you still have cars who are in that lane and then will scoot right over really fast to get into the right lane so they can get. There's so many people. I've seen so many violations in this.
That particular intersection, now as you're bringing up traffic, they've known about the troubles there for, 40 years? Now, they were talking about fixing it. They wanted to make maybe something like another one of these roundabouts or something.
Yeah, that would be tough there.
Well, yes, everything is tough. But why won't they do it? Right now, that one corner is vacant. There's no building on it. Mm-hmm. If you're going to take it, or if you're going to buy it, now is the cheapest time to get it.
Right.
What are you going to do? Wait until there's a business building put up there that's 3 or 4 stories tall, and then finally say, hey, it's time to change the traffic pattern over there. Let's take that building and pay them 8 times of what we could have got it for a couple of years ago. They won't do it.
Sounds like Fort Trumbull.
Yeah, they won't do it.
It was good arguing with you.
Oh, it's time already?
It's time.
Oh, my.
Thank you very much. Hopefully you'll see ladies a lot next week.
Oh, yes. That's the last of the month.
That's it. That's the 31st.
Oh, my.
Time flies.